My biggest download is to be gentle with myself. Touch. How do I touch? What do I offer and how do I offer it to other people? That just allowed me to realize that, Richard, you really should take care of yourself in the most gentle way.
Voices of the Goddess.
Welcome to Voices of the Goddess, where authenticity is our compass and self-love is our North Star.
I'm Julietta, your guide through the realms of healing and self-discovery. As a holistic healer, light worker, way shower, and catalyst for positive change, I walk alongside you on this sacred path of awakening.
And I'm your co-host, Graciela. As a seasoned photographer, Reiki master, sound practitioner, and cacao ceremonialist, I love infusing my artistry with the alchemy of healing and ceremony.
Together, we create a safe space where your authenticity is celebrated, your voice is honored, and your heart is held in the embrace of love.
Join us as we dive deep into soulful conversations and journey towards the essence of who you really are.
Welcome to Voices of the Goddess.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, my friend.
How you doing?
Oh, girl, it has been a weekend. There's been a lot going on, but I gotta tell you, everything is in flow and alignment.
I do have to say, I am impressed with how zen you are staying in the midst of all of the things that you are doing. And it also speaks volumes to, all the work that we do and everything that we're trying to share with our audience about how you can stay completely calm in the storm of life and you can manifest things the way you want them to be in your life. And
Yep. Just this morning, my kids, we have breakfast together. We have breakfast and dinner together every day, right? And so we're having breakfast and my daughter's like scrolling, and she came across that one like TikTok or whatever, one of the social media ones that's like, the spiritualists call it manifestation, the scientists call it placebo effect, the religious call it prayer. There's a couple more examples, and then it says, but no one is denying its existence. We're just arguing over what to call it. And so for me, it's right, just declaring it like this is going to work. And so I'll tell you a funny story. The other day, I have a client who brought in her sister. And this whole time, so for those that don't know, I am selling my house. We're moving. And so I have had so much of this furniture for so many years, and it's all in pristine condition. And you know me, I have this emotional attachment to wood for some reason. I don't know. It's my furniture. So I don't want to just put it out on the side of the road. Like I want it to go to a really good family, that sort of a thing. And so I've been just putting that thought out there, like this is going to go to the perfect person. It's going to go to the perfect person. Like I'm not even going to try and put it on OfferUp. I'm not even going to try and put it on Facebook Marketplace. Just the perfect person is going to show up. And so back to my client. So she comes the other day and she brings her sister, like for moral support. And we start talking. Of course, we immediately get along. And of course, because this is how the universe works, she says to me, oh man, I just had to return this bedroom furniture because it didn't fit in my house. And I said, funny thing, I have a set that is in perfect condition. Do you want it? And she's like, absolutely. And I said, I also have this other Ethan Allen piece that I love to death. And I want it to go to a good family. And she's like, I love furniture and I need furniture. And I'm like, this is exactly how it works. So all I did was literally put the thought in my head that someone's going to come get this. And, it did go to the very last minute because yesterday was the last day that we were in our house, and they came right at 3:00 and they picked up all the furniture, and it was the very last thing done in the house. But it was literally no effort, no strain, no stress on my part. I simply declared it and just waited for the opportunity to arise. Right. And when it did, because I was looking for it, I recognized it. And it could not have been more perfect. The girl lives like 9 minutes from my house. Incredible.
That is perfect. And yes, declaration is so, so powerful. I have been working a lot with declaring it out loud. There's declaring it in your mind, but when you declare it out loud, putting that frequency out there, the vibration out there, I think it's a little bit more powerful than just thinking it or just writing it. When you put them all together, it's extra powerful.
Yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree. So let that be a lesson to you people. Get it out there.
Just declare, just declare, just declare. So, like this whole podcast really started by women, for women, about women, but I love how we have transitioned to having more men on the show. And I have this whole thing that started with my journey to Egypt in 2017, and receiving the message from Isis that it's up to us women to heal ourselves and to bring balance back to the feminine, masculine again in this world. But I also want to acknowledge there are so many men out there doing the work, and I see you, I appreciate you. And so our guest that we're bringing on today is someone that I know through multiple mediums, and we recently did 40-day Course in Miracles journey together with some other friends of ours. And I had mentioned to him in the past, if you want to be on the podcast, let me know. And he reached out a little bit ago and said, I'm ready to be on the podcast. So I'm excited to see what he's going to share about his journey with us. So let's give a warm round of applause for Richard. Welcome to the show, Richard.
Hi, how are you? Thank you for the invite. And yes, I am ready to share.
Thank you for showing up. Can you first share with our audience, please? We know who you are, but most of them don't. So tell them who you are and a little bit about what you do and what you're passionate about.
Well, my name is Richard Demarest. I'm 54, building contractor in Southwest Florida. And that's been my passion my whole life, constructing, designing, building. And so who knows what's going to happen from here? Like I'm tweaking and changing things. And so I'm excited about what my future holds as far as work and other things. So, I've been here pretty much my whole life. So in this area, so it's nice to see the changes and the growth, and my kids are here and they're starting families. And so it's nice.
Awesome. What I love is finding people in like what would maybe be considered not necessarily very spiritual, healing kind of areas in life, and looking at like when people in those realms start to tap into their personal growth and these kind of things. And then how can you bring that into your profession? Like one of our mutual friends creates screws that are used for like orthopedic surgeries. And I tell him, make the screws with love, like put love into the screws. And then when these screws that are filled with love go inside people's bodies, like it's going to make a difference, whether you know it or not. Like you might not ever meet anybody who has one of those screws that you made inside of them, but trust me, there will be a difference in the outcome of the surgery, in the forward progression of their life. I'm just thinking like people who are constructing and building, like if you put love into that, like everybody who comes into that space is going to be affected by that. And so I'm just curious if you've had any thoughts along those lines.
Yeah, I've actually, with my journey, I would say a lot of new discoveries for myself, but then I had an idea of, someone said, instead of supervising, why not be a leader? And then I started hashtagging some posts, loving leader. And so then I started implementing that with guys on the job. Instead of explaining to them what needs to be fixed, I would learn more about them and then and then approach them in a way that, hey, can we look at this particular area? What would you do to make that better? And so it worked. And then it's really rewarding because I can walk on my projects and just say a couple little things and then walk away and let them handle it however they wish. Just giving them the idea that, oh, there's something more to this that I can add and feel happy about, or be integrous about. That's it. I've tried it, and it's a good practice to have. So yeah, that's nice. That's a
I love
it. I love it.
Yeah, I love that. What you're bringing in is giving people the opportunity to feel like they're contributing as opposed to just following directions, right? So it's working because you're investing in a human being, not in a product,
Right.
Like, yes, you get a product as a bypass, but when you invest in relationships, right? Like that's really where the magic is. I mean, I would imagine, how long have you been doing this practice now? Like, have you noticed that your retention is higher and things like that?
Yes, it's been about a year and a half or so.
Wow.
The ideas started coming, and then through some coaching, and then I got more inspiration from that. And so I found out that once I changed my intention, and then I would connect with a few people and then share, and then I would ask them, what's your idea on this? Because the dynamic of a construction site has always been the same forever. And then I would share what do you see in this? How can we make this better? How can we promote more of a lifestyle on the job instead of the job? The particular just let's go to work and get it done, or it's not fast enough, or not good enough, or so that's very nice. And I had a few projects that we brought guys in, and they learned from one to the next, and then we all were rewarded with the energy exchange of it. So, and it was nice to smile at one another and go, hey, look what we all did, and guys that normally don't see the finished product, they were invited back to go, look, here's the finished product. Here you go.
Love it.
Yeah. So yeah, it's been a lot of my relationships have improved in the last year. Family, friends, we grow from each other's experiences and perception, so it's very nice to go, wow, there's a whole nother side to life here.
So I see you like spreading that within your world, but then I'm going, I see this little vision of Richard going out there and teaching other leaders in your industry maybe how to bring this to their companies and their people.
Yeah, it's nice. I've had that feedback as well. How are you doing? Well, hey, thanks for this, because this is what we're doing now. And it's really good. So, and then to jump into that person's perspective is even better, because the more interest I show in them, and it's just another exchange, and it keeps building and building and building, and it's just natural. So that's the connections I'm starting to have, is that, just like you were talking about earlier, the woman came over, next thing you know, boom, furniture, this, that, and it's just that natural connection, and that's just really, really good. So I'm focusing on those relationships, and then changing my life according to that.
I'm super curious, your journey to where you are, because this is so amazing. And I agree with Julietta. I can already see, like, the book, the stage, the podcast, like it's definitely coming. So groundbreaking, like Julietta says, to hear someone in such a masculine industry be in touch with that loving side, like to bring love to construction. My goodness, what the implications of that, I think, are amazing. But I'm curious, for that point in time where there was a switch over, right? Where that switch turned for you. And so surely you had some sort of limiting belief before this, where you might have thought it could never be better than this. This is just how things are always done, tell me a little bit more about that journey. Tell me a little bit more about that transition.
Well, so a couple of years ago, I got a divorce, and so I had to make a shift towards respect for my ex-wife, my kids. So I was thinking about it and wondering, okay, let's just develop compassion for everyone as individuals. My kids they weren't talking to me so much. They wouldn't return text. And then my need to be in control of, oh, are they judging me or things like that. So through coaching, I was inspired to just, hey, you know what? I don't have to say anything, do anything. I just let me be who I am and let them be who they are. And there was a big process there. It took probably a year for them to come back around. And then we don't talk that much. We just share a few things. And it's been so wonderful to experience that. I'm gonna cry. Yeah, it's just amazing to witness the just being who I am, and without anything else, just sharing that energy, and for them to feel it and then go, "Ooh, I like this side of Dad," So that was another big aha moment for me was Julietta mentioned to me one time, "What are you hiding from?" And I just asked her the same question, "What are you hiding from?" So then I visited my dark side for about 4 or 5 months. And I was like, oh my goodness. And it just helped me have more compassion for myself. And then I applied that to other people. And then I go, oh, well, now I can be compassionate for myself. I can give that to other people now. And that is a work in progress always. So those are some of the huge moments. It was not a fun place to be for those 5 months. It was very necessary, and I wasn't afraid of it so much. It also allowed me to understand how people may see me, my actions or behavior. So yeah, that was pretty big. That was a big moment for me. So
beautiful. Yeah, I think one of the the biggest awarenesses that helped me move forward was that anytime I'm judging somebody else, I'm really judging me. And so it's really about learning to stop judging ourselves and have more kindness and compassion for ourselves. And then when we do that, like, other people stop bothering us, stop annoying us, stop making us angry, because we can just look at them all with the same compassion that we look at ourselves. And yeah, the world is a mirror for us out there. And so every time I see something that's triggering me, I'm like, thank you for letting me see what I still need to heal within me.
I really also like the slowing down. I think being in flow and ease is so much easier than we think it is. Like, I think we get used to being on the treadmill of doing and feeling all the feelings and figuring out what we did wrong and why is no one talking to me, right? Like, these are all active things. And I love that in your story, the real magic came in when you stopped doing the things, right? When you slowed down long enough to be and listen. So if there's a lesson in that, it is you don't have to keep moving all the time to move forward, right? Like, you just flow forward, right? Like a river. You don't have to be running all the time. Like, and you can still make money, right? You haven't, your business is still doing good. You're still living your life. Right?
Yes. Nothing really changes other than, slowing the mind down is such a hard thing to do. And I'm starting to develop daily routines to slow that down, to just, I visit the animals on my property and feed them and love on them. And then, I'll exercise and then read. I don't read much, but I read. When I do read, it's just a precise thing that comes to me and I thought, and I go, oh, let me grab that book and read a little bit. And I grab a few things out of the book, and then I just relax. And so those are really good things that I've been doing lately. So coming out of this light and dark era, I was so blissed for a long time, and then it went into the dark side, and then it's coming back into the light side, and I'm attracting energies from other people that are just always putting out positive messages. And then I compliment them and say, thank you so much, so it's such a gift to share that type of energy, and promote that.
So we love books here. Since you talked about reading, I'm curious if you've got a book to recommend for our library. What book do you think everyone should read?
Well, I'm reading Ayahuasca Channel. So I am reading that one. I'm also reading, I just got done with the 4 Agreements. I have a few more, what do you say when you talk to yourself?
Oh, that's a new one.
So that I'm going to start that one. So I would say I bought 5 more, so I'm stacking them up. So yeah, I've got some time to spend on that. Some good time there. So those are a few that I'm doing right now.
That's exciting. Be warned, books are a slippery slope. You're gonna have to use that construction skill to build yourself a library. Trust me.
Yeah. I'll be building myself a bookshelf.
So you mentioned the growth in your business, and I'm curious because life is always moving. What is your next big step? What's your next big project? Whether it's for yourself spiritually or within your business, or where those two things intertwine. Where do you want to go from here?
So I'm going to advertise some new products, and change my business from like brick and mortar to more advertising, phone calls. So I can operate that part anywhere I want to. So it'll be more of a mobile type situation, remote work situation that will allow me to travel and do things that I've never really done before. And then just keep aligning myself spiritually, and then offering my self-compassion. So it's more growth for myself. It's sharing that with other people. And then, so that's really what it is. I think with the growth in my business, so I doubled my money last year, working less hours, offering more as a being, right? So not as a boss or a contractor / I'm the guy in charge. And so I've noticed the difference, the huge difference. So the excitement is, I went to a spiritual seminar and they said, it's all here. When you do this, everything else comes to you. Everything else comes. You're going to attract money. You're going to attract success. You're going to attract higher vibrational people. You're going to allow dark energies to pass through you. So these are things I'm very excited about. So the growth will continue from every day for the rest of my life.
Yay.
What a beautiful example. What a beautiful, and so well said. Thank you so much for sharing that. My goodness.
So I'm just curious, if you had one message that you really want to make sure hits home with our audience, what message would that be?
My biggest download is to be gentle with myself. Touch. So I received that message through medicine, and it was, how do I touch? It was, one, what do I offer and how do I offer it to other people? But then it became touch. Why touch the skin when you can touch the hair? And you can feel the same sensation, if not more. So then that just allowed me to realize that, Richard, you really should take care of yourself in the most gentle way. That's my offering.
Gosh, it's kind of just let that sit for a second, huh? You really should take care of yourself in the most gentle way. And I think that, as a podcast, even though it's called Voices of the Goddess, we do have a lot of male listeners. And I think you just gave them such a beautiful gift, not just women listening, but men particularly, to just be really gentle with yourself. How beautiful is that?
Yes, thank you. Yeah, men don't really grow up that way, do they?
Well, it's interesting you say that, because I think, like, I don't know where the switch happens. I don't know how old your kids are, but I have 14-year-old twins. I have boy-girl twins, right? So it's like my own little science experiment at home. I get to see where gender plays a role in how I raise them. And it's interesting because I find my son to be gentle. And I also am curious if there's going to be a point in his life where it kind of switches a little bit and he becomes a little bit more, a little bit less gentle. I don't know. I don't know. It's really interesting. Like, where does that happen for men? Why? And how do we not do that? How do we keep gentle boys to be gentle men? Right.
Right.
Right. Still maintain that productivity, that go-to attitude, get things done, be the protector, like all the beautiful masculine things, and to be gentle with yourself. How do we do that?
I think some of that too is understanding that gentleness does not mean weakness.
Correct.
And so many of these traits have been labeled as weak, and I think allowing yourself to be gentle is a superpower. There's so much strength in that. And, I also think part of this comes from, the society that we have all created as a collective. Even as women, it's really difficult for us to be gentle, even though we're supposedly the more gentle gender. But I see so many of us, and I know me in my past, I haven't been very gentle with myself. And so it's a beautiful skill that we all get to learn and nurture, and show others the way of how gentleness can be a superpower, a strength. Yeah,
that's the true my true vision for myself is that I was always good at taking care of everyone else, but not myself. And then I realized several things from traumas to man, why are you letting those people run over you? And then I realized, you were taking care of them and you didn't care what they did to you or what their actions were, or and then you really I became shitty with myself most of the time. So now I realize, now that I got these downloads, I'm going, oh man, you are number one. You are number one. It's your time, so.
I think this is why community is so important, because, no matter how much practice you do, it's easy to slip into all of those roles just because life, the way that it's constructed right now, right? We have to live it a certain way. I have to get in my car. I have to go to work. I have to pay my bills. And so it's easy to slip back into those things. But I think being in community, having these conversations reminds me. Right? It reminds me to it reminds me to slow down. It reminds me that I'm worth it. God knows how many times Julietta has had to shake me and go, listen to me, you're good at this.
You're right. Right. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
We all need reminders. And we're here to remember. This is part of the remembering. So I love it. Richard, the show has been amazing. I'm like, our editors are going to they're going to be overwhelmed with what was the best thing to pick out and put into those shorts that they make for us. So many beautiful messages. And thank you for being a way shower for men, how to be gentle and be kind to themselves. And I love everything you're doing. So, and thank you for being brave enough to step up and be on the show with us. We appreciate you.
Absolutely. I am very much looking forward to seeing what comes next for you. And whatever you launch next, I will definitely have my son listen in. First of all, he's gonna be the first one to hear this podcast. That's for sure.
Excellent. Thank you so much, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you to all of our listeners for tuning in, and I want to wish everybody a magical day.
Thanks for tuning in to another empowering episode of Voices of the Goddess.
We hope today's conversation has ignited a spark within you, inspiring you to embrace your authenticity and cultivate self-love in your life.
If you've enjoyed today's episode, we invite you to subscribe to our podcast and like, comment, and share it with your friends and loved ones. Your support helps us spread the message of empowerment and healing around the world.
Don't forget to check the show notes for ways to connect with us and today's special guest, and to find additional resources to help you on your journey.
Remember, you are worthy of love, you are worthy of joy, and you are worthy of all the blessings this universe has to offer.
Until next time, remember to honor your truth and spread love wherever you go.